Good afternoon, and welcome to another one of our great interviews here at Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras. My name's Albert Kruger, the CEO of Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras, and with me on the interview today for the first time is Kate Wickett. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Albert. How are you going?
Good. How are you going today?
Thanks for having me on your interviews. This is going to be a really special afternoon. I'm really pleased to have a new guest this week.
And who is our guest today?
It's Georgie Harman, the CEO of Beyond Blue. Hi, Georgie.
Hello, Kate Wickett. Hi, Albert. How are you?
Yeah, great. Very, very great. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that you're probably crazy busy at this time.
It's a little bit busy at the moment, yes.
How is the Beyond Blue team coping in the COVID environment? You guys are locked down in Victoria. What's happening on your end of the world?
Yeah, look, it's a bit tricky at the moment because we've been all working virtually since early March, and it's been a really busy year anyway with the bushfires. So we were already kind of operating off a really high base of demand, and obviously then COVID hit. I must admit, I keep on reminding my team, we are so lucky to have jobs right now. We're so lucky to have jobs with purpose as well. And, the services of Beyond Blue and other organisations in the space are really kind of, needed at the moment. And I think that, having that sense of purpose is incredibly motivating at a time when there's not a lot to be excited about. But look, it does feel different. So we're all based in Melbourne. And it does, lockdown 2.0 feels different. It feels people are tireder. People are a little bit, they're just a bit frustrated. People are really worried about jobs and business and, their families and their loved ones, and obviously their own health too. So it feels a little bit kind of like a bit of a grind at the moment, a bit of a kick in the guts, especially as the rest of the country's opening up.
Yeah.
But that's exactly, I keep on saying to my team, that's why we're here. That's our purpose. Our purpose now is to support the community through the pandemic, whether that's in Victoria or Wagga or Broome, that's what we're here for. And we've just got to see this as a marathon.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've also experienced. I was just standing in the queue the other day at Randwick Council, and I was maybe 1.2 meters away from this guy in the queue, and he was so aggressive, like, please stand back. And so it does feel like everybody's on edge right now. And really it's starting to grate on people's mental well-being and mental health. So you can really feel that.
And I think, the stuff that we keep on reminding people about is that we all need compassion. Kindness and compassion are needed more than ever right now. And those are not just, warm, fuzzy words. They're actually, if we are kind and patient with each other as we're all adjusting to, what life living with COVID looks like, it's really important that we do kind of remember that, some people are doing it tougher than others. Some people are coping better than others. But also support's out there. So, the Beyond Blue support service is operating around the clock. We've actually set up a dedicated coronavirus support service, which is free 24/7 to anyone. We have a lot of LGBTIQ community members that engage with us. I was looking at some numbers yesterday, actually, and the level of engagement by LGBTI communities on our community resources has really actually gone up in the last 3 months, which is fantastic in a sense, because it means that people are engaging with things that can be helpful at this time. So we're open for business. And but the other thing I think that's really important for people to remember is if you're feeling anxious and stressed and worried and uncertain and frustrated, those are actually really normal feelings to have at times like this when we have no control over our lives, And as human beings, we're actually hardwired to really like control. So when that's taken away from us, we kind of go, oh, that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So the other thing we're saying to people is focus on the things you can control, whether that's what time you get up in the morning, how many times you connect with your mates during the week. You don't need to emerge from COVID with a six-pack and having learned 13 new languages. Be kind to yourself as well.
Georgie, that's a really good segue, I think. One of the things that we've been talking a lot about at Mardi Gras and World Pride is that within the arts and culture community, there exists our community. So a lot of LGBTIQ plus people work within the arts and culture community, and the arts, as you know, has been significantly decimated in terms of festivals or live shows. And so is that what you're saying, that there's this disproportionate kind of outcome for our LGBTIQ community? And is that why the numbers are potentially so high with Beyond Blue?
Look, I think there's many different parts of our communities that are actually feeling this really tough, really hard. And yes, LGBTI communities are more disproportionately affected by poor mental health to start with. And that's not because of who we are. It's actually because of the prejudice, the discrimination, the lack of access we have. And that's an ongoing struggle that your organisations are really fighting hard to overcome every day. But what we're seeing is that, COVID has affected everyone in Australia, but everybody's context is really different. So we're seeing, people from the LGBTI community who really normally rely on those places and spaces that are family, that where, our chosen families come together. And, for a while there, we couldn't access those. So, online chats like this, the event held by Equality Australia a few months ago is so important at these times. But we're also, young people who are potentially isolating at home with families who don't accept who they are. So I think we've got to really be thinking about, what people's experiences feel like and not take a kind of one-size-fits-all approach. But yes, back to the arts. I mean, more generally, people who are part of the gig economy, people who are, rely on income from a range of sources are doing it really tough. Small business owners, micro business owners are coming to us in record numbers. And again, we've got counsellors who are trained and ready to talk to them. We've got counsellors who know how to refer them to a financial counsellor for free, who can help with budgeting and household debt and things like that, as well as business debt. So, I guess my one message to everyone who might be watching this is, don't think that services like Beyond Blue are there for other people. They're there. You don't need to have a mental health condition. You don't need to be in crisis. Just pick up the phone. It really helps sometimes just to kind of talk through what's on your mind and what your life feels like at that moment. And we can give you those immediate strategies and also refer you on to other services that might be able to help you longer term.
It's actually, it's quite sobering when we talk about these concerns, because, you might in your own, bubble and your own existence think that I'm, experiencing things that maybe it's just and unique to me. And a lot of the time we also think, just toughen up, you need to just deal with these things. And it's so important to know that there is actually somebody on the other end of the line who can give you simple strategies, as you just mentioned and alluded to, that will help you just manage your day to day. And, this is always one of those mantras that I always throw out there is, how do you eat an elephant is bit by bit, and it is literally just that. You have to just take it slowly, day by day, and just manage, like you said, control what time you wake up, control going to the gym if you can, maybe do some exercise at home, and check in on your friends and mates, and also understand that there are great supporting services like Beyond Blue out there that specializes in support. Is there one maybe small piece of advice that you can maybe give our communities out there that's living in and amongst it, that we can share through the channels?
You are not alone. There is not one person in Australia, no matter what they say that has not been affected by this in some way. So don't feel like you're weak if you're struggling. Don't feel like a service is for somebody else. If you can't get what you need through your friends, your chosen family, pick up the phone, jump online and connect with a service like Beyond Blue. That's exactly why we're there. You do not have to struggle in silence. And if you do, the longer it's going to take you back to get back to who you are, to you. We have this sense as people, and it's, you know, it's to some degree affected by sort of cultural and social norms, is that we have to suck it up. And it's really uncomfortable to kind of feel like you're not doing well, you're struggling mentally and you're not coping. And we don't have to like these feelings, but if we deny that reality and we beat ourselves up for it, and we're actually doing more harm than good to ourselves. So it's absolutely okay to not feel okay. You are not alone, and services and supports are out there.
Fantastic.
I have another question for you, Georgie, and really it relates to, you're the CEO of a very large organisation, a mental health organisation. How do you personally cope with the pressure and, you know, being in lockdown and managing a huge team as a leader? They often say it's lonely at the top, and I know that you have, I think you have a great support network, but how do you cope in these uncertain times?
Oh, look, Kate, it's been up and down. It's really been up and down. And I think I talk quite regularly about how I actually have good days and bad days. You know, I've experienced depression in the past before. And I think when people like me talk openly about the fact that we're not actually bulletproof, I think that really, you know, changes. It allows people sometimes to kind of feel comfortable talking about their own experiences. So I'm up and down. Like some days I am brilliant. Today I'm great. Last week I was absolutely in the doldrums. You know, I felt very sorry for myself. I started slipping back into those old patterns of, you know, eating, not getting enough sleep, and not eating well, and, you know, not going to my personal trainer, who I know you know, Kate, as well.
I'm very sad she left Sydney. It's showing, I tell you.
Whipping me into shape here in Melbourne virtually. So look, I think I'm up and down, but I think the things that I know anchor me are friends and family. So all my family's overseas. I'm in contact twice a day with them on WhatsApp, and that actually is bringing me huge joy. And I'm probably connecting with my family more than I usually do. And we're kind of, you know, getting to know the micro moments of one another's days, which is really comforting, actually. I'm really focusing on my sleep, because I feel so much better when I've had enough rest. But I think the thing that I've really learned about myself is that I just have to let go. You know, you cannot control in times of crisis. You actually don't have all the answers. I'm the kind of person that likes to know that I've got the answers, and I've really had to let go of that. And I think the thing that I've really learned about leadership through this is you have to communicate really clearly and often to your teams. You have to be vulnerable and say, I don't have the answers, but I think we should do this. And you just have to be, you know, understand that everybody's experiencing this differently, including me.
Well, Georgie, thank you so much for your time today. We know it's precious. The responsibility of your, you know, organization is not lost on us. And on behalf of our community, we want to say thank you so much for all the hard work that you guys are doing and supporting us. We really, really appreciate it. We always need organizations like yourselves to, you know, do what you do best. And so thank you from our point of view. And we look forward to touching base with you guys again to see how you guys are coping moving forward. We will share all Beyond details, contact information in this interview as well. And if you guys need any help or assistance, please make sure that you take your own advice and reach out to us, and we'll see how we can help you guys moving forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything that you do, Georgie.
And look, can I just say right back at you, you know, Mardi Gras and World Pride are just such important organisations, and, you know, they bring a lot of joy and happiness to many of us. So good on you, and thank you for the work that you do.